Following developing news tonight in Lancaster, where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the way that I look. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad because there's like nothing I can do. You know, be a happy camper.
He was found dead Saturday in his California home at the age of 34. Pop sensation's life cut short.
Is code 3 responses needed? Suicidal, yelling at 902 in the tub.
Because I think the mental illness he has and the addiction he had, I think was controlling his life. But Aaron also was a very lonely person in his mind. You know, he had friends, he had family, but I think he's the type of a guy, he wants to be surrounded with family, blood-related family. He loved his son, you know, he loved kids. And in a point he said, can you be the godfather of my son? I said, of course I will be the godfather. But I think he was giving too much, but he was very lonely in his own.
Aaron Carter was a global pop sensation who captured hearts as a child star, but behind the fame, his life spiraled into loneliness, addiction, and shocking controversies. In 2022, he was found dead in his California home at just 34 years old. Official reports called it an accident, yet whispers in Hollywood suggest something far more sinister, with possible links to powerful figures like Diddy and unanswered questions that refuse to go away. Tonight, we dive deep into the mystery surrounding Aaron Carter's final days, the secrets he hinted at, and the truth his family and fans still demand to know. Hollywood is once again in the spotlight of controversy, with new whispers fueling the long-standing feud between rapper 50 Cent and music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Some reports are even hinting at unsettling links between Diddy and the tragic passing of former pop star Aaron Carter. Aaron, best known as the younger brother of Backstreet Boys' Nick Carter, captured the world's attention in the late 1990s with his infectious energy and boy next door charm. But behind the glitter of early fame, Aaron faced battles few could see. In 2022, heartbreak struck when he was discovered lifeless at only 34 years old, a loss that stunned fans worldwide and left lingering questions about his final chapter. Reporters on the ground describe a steady stream of loved ones visiting Aaron's home, each carrying memories of the man behind the headlines. Friends consistently paint the same picture, a generous, gentle, and humble soul, though one weighed down by inner struggles. The grief is heavy, not just for his family, but for countless admirers across the globe who grew up with his music. Aaron Carter, the singer, rapper, and actor who once filled stadiums with joy, is gone far too soon. Among those mourning him is his stylist and close friend, who recently shared a video from a birthday gathering for Carter's fiancée, Melanie Martin, the mother of their 11-month-old son, Prince. Breaking down in tears, the friend recalled their last conversation, a casual FaceTime just 2 weeks earlier. "He wanted me to come over," they said, "and I told him I had work. I wish I had gone. I wish I'd seen him one last time." On the morning of his passing, emergency crews were dispatched after a house sitter dialed 911, reporting that Aaron had been found unresponsive in his bathtub. Paramedics and deputies rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Years of battling addiction, multiple stints in rehab, and a complicated history with prescription medication had taken their toll. Aaron himself had spoken candidly about his mental health challenges, once appearing on The Doctors to discuss his struggles. He was a good-hearted person, a friend reflected. Like all of us, he had demons. "I just wish he'd had more time to conquer them." Aaron's career began almost as soon as he could walk. By his early teens, he had platinum albums, toured with his brother's group, the Backstreet Boys, and even opened for Britney Spears. He later appeared on the reality show House of Carters, giving fans an unfiltered look into the famous family's life. Melanie Martin, Aaron's fiancée, was visibly devastated when she arrived at his home to speak with investigators. Reports reveal that their young son Prince remains in the custody of Melanie's mother under court order. Determined to regain custody, Aaron had recently entered rehab for the 5th time, expressing hope for a fresh start with his child. Aaron's public relations team later issued a statement acknowledging his passing, a sobering reminder of a life that once burned so brightly, only to be dimmed too soon. Aaron's family has been informed and is preparing to fly to Los Angeles, a representative shared. In his final years, he worked tirelessly on his recovery, striving to be a devoted father and to heal old wounds with his loved ones. As news spread, Aaron's brother Nick Carter took the stage with the Backstreet Boys, visibly shaken as the audience echoed their support, shouting, "We love you, Nick." Later, Nick poured his grief into a heartfelt post online. "My heart is broken. My brother and I had a complicated relationship, but my love for him never faded. Addiction and mental illness are the true enemies here. I'll always love you, Chiz." Aaron's story was one of both dazzling success and heartbreaking struggle. He first stepped onto a stage at just 9 years old and, by 13, had already become a chart-topping artist. His breakout record, Aaron's Party, Come Get It, climbed to number 4 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 3 million copies. Around the same time, he became a household name with guest appearances on hit shows like Lizzie McGuire, where his holiday cameo cemented his status as a tween heartthrob. Hilary Duff, Aaron's former girlfriend and co-star, responded to his passing with compassion and tenderness. In a moving Instagram tribute, she wrote directly to him, "I'm so sorry that life was so difficult for you and that you had to endure your struggles in front of the world. My teenage self loved you deeply." For all his accomplishments, Aaron's journey was overshadowed by years of personal and professional turbulence, battles that ultimately shaped his legacy as much as his music ever did.
In and out of that home behind me all day. And tonight we heard from some of those closest to Aaron Carter, and they all say the same thing. They all share stories of a very kind, loving, caring, humble, yet troubled young man.
Aaron Carter's life was marked by the double edge of fame, glamour on one side and chaos on the other. Financial troubles, family conflicts, and personal demons weighed heavily on him. Reflecting on the cost of fame once, Aaron described it bluntly, self-destructing. Like a tornado came through our house and tossed the family everywhere. That storm included heartbreaks beyond his control. In 2012, he lost his sister Leslie to an overdose. Years later, his own relationships drew public scrutiny, with domestic violence allegations from his fiancée. By 2019, tensions within his family grew so strained that both his brother Nick and his twin sister Angel filed restraining orders against him. Still, Aaron was open about his struggles, even confronting them on television. Appearing on The Doctors, he admitted candidly, "I was huffing because I'm a drug addict. I'm a drug addict in recovery." Recently, Aaron's story has resurfaced in the wake of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs' legal troubles. Hollywood chatter suggests federal investigators might revisit Aaron's case for potential ties to the embattled figure. While official reports concluded his death was linked to health and substance issues, the speculation has reignited conspiracy theories and online debates. Fans have been dissecting old interviews, social media posts, and entertainment rumors, hoping to uncover answers. For many, Aaron's passing has become one of the industry's most puzzling and heartbreaking mysteries. The official findings, however, were stark. Records obtained by News confirmed that Aaron died from drowning, with contributing factors identified as the sedative alprazolam, commonly known as Xanax, and difluoroethane, a compressed gas. The coroner ruled his death an accident, noting that he became incapacitated in the bathtub. On November 5th, 2022, his representatives released a statement. "It is with deepest regret to report Aaron Carter was found unresponsive this morning at his home in Palmdale, California." Authorities confirmed that a house sitter discovered him around 11 a.m. and called 911, but by the time paramedics arrived, it was too late. Aaron's legacy, however, goes far beyond his final days. He was only 9 when he captured attention with a cover of Crush on You in 1997, a hit that propelled him into tours alongside the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears before headlining stages of his own. Over his career, he released 5 studio albums and became a staple of early 2000s pop culture. His dreams, he once explained, weren't just about fame. "I don't care about money or being the biggest star. I just want to succeed, enjoy life, and fulfill my goals." Those words reflected a boy chasing joy as much as recognition. In the aftermath of his passing, tributes poured in. Hilary Duff, who once shared a young love with Aaron, wrote, "I'm so sorry that life was so hard for you and that you had to struggle in front of the world. You had a charm that was absolutely effervescent. My teenage self loved you deeply." She closed with a wish for peace and love for his family. Nick Carter also broke his silence with raw honesty. "Even though my brother and I had a complicated relationship, my love for him never faded. I will miss my brother."
A good person. He had his demons, as we all do, I just wish he had another chance to defeat those demons.
Aaron Carter once seemed like the perfect picture of a child star. Chart-topping singles, sold-out arenas, and adoring fans, all before he reached his teenage years. His energy and charisma made him a global sensation, the kind of youthful talent that defined an era of pop culture. For children growing up in the late 1990s and early 2000s, Aaron was more than just another pop act. He was a reflection of innocence and aspiration, a symbol of the dream that fame could be bright, fun, and forever rewarding. His voice echoed at school dances, his posters lined bedroom walls, and his music videos played on repeat across MTV and Disney Channel. Yet behind those sparkling lights and thunderous applause, Aaron's reality was far more complicated. Fame came to him not gradually, but like a tidal wave. He was thrust onto stages at an age when most kids were still learning multiplication tables. By 9, he was already performing in front of thousands. By 13, he was topping the charts with his breakout record Aaron's Party, Come Get It. Childhood was something he lived in glimpses, between rehearsals, recording sessions, and endless touring. As he grew older, the strain of that lifestyle began to show. Through raw interviews, candid moments on reality television, and especially unfiltered posts on social media, Aaron revealed that his inner world was heavy with battles few could see. He spoke openly about his struggles with mental health and anxiety, about the crushing weight of expectations that had followed him since childhood. To millions of fans, he was still the boy who made them dance and laugh. But to Aaron, the image felt like a costume that no longer fit, a mask that hid years of pain and misunderstanding. He also hinted, often cryptically, at unsettling encounters within the music industry. Though rarely naming names, his words painted the outlines of experiences that left him feeling isolated, mistrustful, and at times unsafe. Aaron frequently described the entertainment business as a machine that took from him far more than it gave, leaving behind scars that were emotional as much as financial. In one interview, he likened his journey to being trapped in a cycle where his humanity was overshadowed by his profitability. Fans who had followed his career from the start began to see a more complex figure emerging, not the carefree pop idol they once adored, but a man trying to reclaim his voice in a world that had long spoken for him. These reflections, especially in his later years, have taken on a haunting weight. In hindsight, some have begun to question whether his cryptic remarks about shadowy pressures and dangerous figures were more than just vague warnings. Whispers in Hollywood have increasingly drawn connections to powerful industry players, most notably Sean Diddy Combs. With Diddy himself now facing mounting legal troubles and public scrutiny, speculation has grown about how much influence he may have had on vulnerable young stars like Aaron. Though no concrete evidence has tied Aaron directly to Diddy in a way that explains his struggles, the resurfacing of these rumors has reignited debates about the darker side of the music industry and the predatory systems that too often lurk behind its glitz. Aaron's story is not unique in its broad strokes. Hollywood is littered with tales of young prodigies who burned brightly and then painfully faded. But what makes his narrative resonate so deeply is how openly he tried to articulate the weight of his experiences while he was still living them. He did not shy away from confessing his demons. He admitted to his battles with substance abuse, his financial devastation after years of mismanagement, and the profound loneliness that came from being surrounded by millions yet feeling truly seen by so few. His honesty was often raw, even messy, but it was also undeniably human. For Aaron, fame was both a blessing and a curse. It gave him opportunities most could only dream of, yet it also deprived him of the chance to grow into adulthood on his own terms. When he spoke of feeling misunderstood, it was not just about his family or the tabloids, it was about the very audience that had adored him. Fans wanted him frozen in time as the boy who sang, "I want candy." But Aaron had outgrown that version of himself long ago. The disconnect between who he was and who the world expected him to be created an ongoing identity crisis, one that left him vulnerable to the very pressures he warned about. The whispers connecting Aaron to Diddy add yet another layer of intrigue to his already complex legacy. Industry insiders have long noted that both Aaron and Justin Bieber, another teen idol who rose under Diddy's orbit for a time, may have faced similar pressures in their formative years. The difference, some argue, is that Bieber had a support system strong enough, eventually, to help him step back from the brink. Aaron, tragically, did not. If those rumors hold even a grain of truth, they speak volumes about the precarious balance between mentorship and exploitation in an industry where young artists often lack the power to protect themselves. At the same time, it's important to remember that Aaron was not only defined by tragedy. He was a talented, ambitious, and determined artist who never stopped trying to create. Even in his darkest moments, he spoke of wanting to rebuild his career, to be a better father to his young son, and to show the world that he was more than just a cautionary tale. In interviews, he often stressed that his mistakes did not erase his humanity. "I'm just like everyone else," he once said. "I hurt, I heal, I stumble, I try again." That level of vulnerability is rare in celebrities, rarer still in those who built their careers on the illusion of perfection. Aaron Carter's life, then, becomes not just a story of a child star who fell from grace, but a cautionary tale about what happens when an industry prioritizes profit over people. His openness about his struggles has sparked difficult conversations about mental health, addiction, and the hidden costs of fame. It has also left fans grappling with their own role in the cycle of idolization and criticism that often pushes stars to their breaking point. Whether or not the rumors about Diddy or other industry figures ever lead to concrete revelations, Aaron's words remain. They are fragments of a story that was never fully told, breadcrumbs left by someone who wanted the world to see more than just the surface. They invite us to look closer, not only at Aaron, but at the structures that create and consume talents like him. His legacy is therefore twofold: the bright-eyed boy who brought joy to millions, and the complex, wounded man who challenged us to see the cost of that joy. His life, both celebrated and mourned, reminds us that behind every pop star poster is a person, often far more fragile than their image suggests. In the end, Aaron Carter's story is not just about what he achieved or how he died. It's about what he endured, what he revealed, and the truths he left for us to untangle. It is about the collision of innocence and industry, about the price of growing up too soon under the weight of the spotlight, and about the unanswered questions that still linger. Whether whispered connections to powerful figures hold any truth may remain unknown. But what is certain is that Aaron's voice, raw, unfiltered, and painfully honest, continues to echo long after the music has stopped.
Me in 2011. I love being a performer and entertaining, and when I can't do that, my world is in shambles. It doesn't work for me.
Over the years, Aaron dealing with bankruptcy and family strife.
What do you think the price of fame was for your family?
Self-destructing. Like a tornado just came through our house and family got tossed everywhere.
Aaron's story took a sharp turn in 2009 when he stepped onto the stage of Dancing with the Stars, hoping to reignite his career. Instead of the fresh start he envisioned, the pressures only deepened his struggles with anxiety, struggles that soon fueled a growing dependence on Xanax. He later admitted how quickly it spiraled. "I just got heavier and heavier into the Xanax. My sister Leslie, she was heavy into it too. but I was given an opportunity to save my life. Leslie never had that chance. That painful memory haunted him. Leslie, just 25 years old, died from an overdose in their father's home. While Aaron had already been in and out of rehab searching for stability, his sister never lived to see the same second chance. Her loss became a wound he carried for the rest of his life.
Friends and family try to intervene at all, especially near the end.
I don't think so.
Why not?
To be honest, when I got there, the day the incident happened, there was no friends was there. I was really surprised. It was just me and Melanie families, a few people. But people I used to see him every day in his house on his FaceTime, nobody was there. That's why it's kind of concerning me. What happened? What was going on the day before? We need to find out. I mean, not me, but the police will find out. But there is something that just...
What do you think happened?
I personally think he was on medication and he fall asleep in a bathtub, and that's what happened. That's what I personally think, but we don't know until we find out the real,
And you said you saw aerosol cans in the bathroom, correct?
Yeah.
So there could have been that going on also?
Yes.
When was the last time you spoke to Aaron?
Well, we've been messaging on Instagram and text message days before. But last time he FaceTimed me from Santa Monica, he was at the dentist's office. So he said, come down here, I'm doing a root canal. And it's very painful. I want you to hold my hand. I said, I can't do it. And I had some plans, I had to go to work. I said, I'll come see you tomorrow. And I couldn't go see him because I think he was traveling after that. He's doing some kind of touring, small concerts in different states.
There had been concern where fans had been reaching out and saying, hey, stop him from doing these drugs and stop him from doing the huffing. Had you seen that?
Yes, of course.
And did you ask him about that?
Yes, we had a conversation together and he said, what do you want me to do? I said, can we please check you into rehab? You do have the insurance, Melanie told me. We can get you to the rehab. And he said, is that what you want me to do? I said, well, I want you to do it for you than for me because I don't want to see you like this. He goes, okay, I'll do it. Just give me a week and I'll do it. Give me 2 weeks and I'll do it. And it never happened.
Why don't you think he wanted to go to rehab?
Because I think the mental illness he has and the addiction he had, I think was controlling his life. But Aaron also was a very lonely person in his mind, He had friends, he had family, but I think he's the type of a guy, he wants to be surrounded with family, blood-related family. He loved his son, he loved kids. And in a point he said, can you be the godfather of my son? I said, of course I will be the godfather. But I think he was giving too much, but he was very lonely in his own mind. He wanted to be hugged. He wanted to be loved, but one person can't give all that, I think we needed more people there, but just people not there. They were not there. I think they gave up on him.
Do you think his family gave up on him?
I think they gave up on him, and with all the respect to his family, and I saw the video yesterday, his brother, Nick, was crying. Of course, it's emotionally. His brother. Of course, he's hurting a lot, but I don't think he should have ever...
But substance abuse wasn't Aaron's only struggle during his time on Dancing with the Stars. Behind the curtain, he was drowning in financial turmoil, millions of dollars in debt, that stemmed from his early teenage years. When I turned 18, I suddenly owed $2.2 million, he recalled. I was being served lawsuits while I was on the dance floor, right in front of my partner and the interviewers. People didn't know that kind of stuff was happening. The pressure was relentless. At times, Aaron publicly pleaded for help, even asking fans to support him in securing private security, insisting, if anything happens to me, I promise you it won't be by my own doing. Despite his cries for support, those pleas often went unanswered. His personal life was equally turbulent. He accused family members of betrayal, claiming, my whole family is after my life. They're setting me up. He also alleged that his parents had squandered hundreds of millions of dollars he had earned as a child star, saying, somewhere between $350 and $500 million was gone. For Aaron, the world saw his mistakes, but few seemed willing to see the human being behind them. What I need people to understand is that I'm human. I make mistakes, just like everyone else. Then came the devastating end. On November 5th, 2022, Aaron was found unresponsive in the bathtub of his Lancaster, California home. He was just 34 years old. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's report confirmed that he had drowned, with contributing factors listed as alprazolam, Xanax, and difluoroethane, a chemical often used in compressed air cans. His death was ruled accidental. Yet not everyone accepted the conclusion. Aaron's mother has been outspoken on social media, questioning the circumstances of her son's passing. Sharing photos of the bathroom where Aaron was found, including a tub filled with green water and towels neatly arranged on the floor, she argued the scene had never been properly investigated. She pointed to alleged death threats Aaron received in his final days, insisting, "We want answers. We want justice. There are people who must be held accountable." The mystery only deepened with resurfacing rumors about Aaron's ties to Sean Diddy Combs. Whispers suggest that, much like Justin Bieber years later, Aaron may have shared an early closeness with a powerful music mogul. Both boys were thrust into stardom as children, but while Bieber is said to have eventually distanced himself, though not without scars, Aaron may never have been able to step away from the pressures. Industry insiders speculate that both young stars endured similar trials behind closed doors, but with tragically different outcomes. For fans, those lingering questions only add another layer to Aaron's complex and haunting legacy.